Just because we know the name of our condition doesn't mean that we know what's wrong with us. It doesn't mean that we know the cause. All it means is we get grouped together with other people who share the same symptoms as us. And then what happens when we get grouped in this bunch with the same symptoms? It means that we can go into the system. That's the system of name, blame, and tame. That's name, blame, and tame. This is how it works. So let's say, okay, your condition is bipolar. Okay, name, you have bipolar. Number 2, blame. That's when we blame whatever the condition is. All of the problems in your life are coming from the fact that you have bipolar. That is the root of all your problems. Number 3, that's when we go to tame. Okay, let's look up the book here. Okay, this is what the medication is, what we're going to start you on to help treat your bipolar. Problem is, bipolar is only a symptom. It's not the actual cause of the problem. Bipolar is a symptom. Let's use something closer to home for me, right? Let's say ice addiction. Okay, so let's use the same formula. Name. Okay, you are someone who uses ice, you have an ice addiction. 2, blame. This is when we go into the blame phase. Ice addiction is the root of all your problems. That is your main issue. That's what needs to be fixed. Okay? Tame. Okay, let's go to the book. What do we do to treat this thing? Well, what we're going to do, we're going to send you off to a facility. You're going to stay in the facility for 1 to 3 months. We'll isolate you from your family. We'll take away your phone. And we'll dose you up on Valium while you're here. And probably on an antipsychotic like Zyprexa or something as well. And we'll probably get you up in front of a group to talk. Because as a drug addict, you probably have massive underlying anxiety as well. So let's get you up in front of a whole group so you can talk in front of some strangers. Okay, that's generally how the thing goes. The thing is, with anything, you can't lump people into the same bucket because everyone has an individual story and certain circumstances in their life. There's all sorts of reasons why someone can become a drug addict. God, you can have one person, okay, who's been sexually abused when they were a child, sexual trauma. From that point on, a horrific event. From that point on, just so much anger at the world, so much blaming, so much distrust, and she decided in that moment that she just can't trust the world, and that bred on itself to a point 20 years later where she couldn't cope with life and reached for drugs and used drugs to cope, okay, because she couldn't survive in the world without them. Another story, someone else who had a great upbringing, wonderful parents, that kind of thing. When they're 3 years old, an event happened in their life which formed a belief. They decided that the way that they receive love, is by impressing their father. So when their father's not impressed, then they don't feel loved, okay? Fast forward 2 years, they're 5 years old. At kindergarten, their dad brings them a sandwich because they forgot their lunch, right? While they go to eat that sandwich, they drop it on the ground, and in that moment, they decide that I'm a constant disappointment. Okay? Because beliefs are created in a single event. I'm a constant disappointment. Fast forward 25 years. That belief, like all of our beliefs, play out in patterns over our life that drive us. Imagine feeling like a disappointment your whole life, driving you into a deep depression where then someone reaches for a coping mechanism and starts self-medicating with drugs. Okay? Both those people, they're both real case studies, by the way. Both those people come together in the same bucket as a drug addict, but they have very, very different stories and very different things that need to be addressed in their life. They can't be treated on the surface level the same, and it just won't work. That's why rehab, the public rehab system, has a 10% success rate at the minute. It's crazy, right? So we're in this system, we're in this bucket, which means we can be medicated. I'm not saying that all medication is bad. Works great for some people. It's shown that antidepressants actually have a 30% efficacy. So it's shown 30% efficacy, so 30% of people are getting some sort of improvement from them in their life. Okay, it's a pretty shit overall stat to be 30%, but for those 30% of people, that's awesome, right? That's really, really good. However, across all medicine, across all studies and everything, all improvements and all healings, the placebo effect accounts for, guess how much? 30%. Okay? Am I saying all antidepressants are placebos? No, but there's a correlation there, right? Definitely. And the whole chemical imbalance thing, I mean, this whole antidepressant, antipsychotic industry is based on the fact that the cause of the issue is a chemical imbalance in the brain. That's never been proven scientifically. This multi-billion dollar industry is based on the fact there's a chemical imbalance in the brain, and that's never been proven. And the actual drugs that are prescribed, they cause a chemical imbalance in the brain. So the symptom that they are trying to alleviate is what they actually cause. Let's say hypothetically that it was, so let's say depression is a chemical imbalance in the brain, hypothetically. If it was, that's still a symptom. It's not the cause. Your brain just doesn't go bang, you have an imbalance now, you need to be medicated. There's something that has happened in the person's life. There's circumstances, environment, something that has happened, a trauma that has caused that chemical imbalance to take place. So instead of treating it on the surface, how about we go back and try and find out what the cause is? So what's my main point here? What am I getting at? If you are struggling in life, if life isn't what you would hope it would be and you want things to be a bit brighter, getting the name of a condition isn't going to help. It's actually going to take you further away because we hold on to that and start to identify with that label, which stops us getting to the cause. Because it's hard to get to the cause, right? I know it is. But getting a name for the condition, it's not going to help. What can help is getting to that cause, going into your past, going into your life, going into your pains and finding out about those pains and what they're really trying to tell you. That's where you're going to get help. And there's people that will help you. There's people that will help you with compassion and no judgment. And you can get to a place in your life where you have so much more peace and happiness. And it is my wish for you that you get there. And I know that it is possible for anyone. That's all from me today, guys. Peace out.